Patrice, Krysztofiak. Welcome to Nature of Reality Radio, and thank you for reaching out to me. It's a nice, rare gem when someone reaches out to me to be a guest on my show. We can go for maybe a little over half an hour today. I do have to work again, and not that there's way too much to talk about here. You have a medical healing ability to see inside bodies and such when people are sick, and help people with their disease and trauma, exactly like the movie The Green Mile you wrote here. Say you're not a magician. Then again, magic is indistinguishable from higher level technology, as Arthur C. Clarke said. So you can call it magic if you want. It's not really, I don't see a sin in calling it that. But anyhow, please tell us your life story from a primary source perspective regarding what happened to you and how you got your ability and all that, and what you experienced that caused you to do the stuff that you do. You got the floor. I don't have Alex Jones-itis. I don't interrupt my guests often, so I'll keep my mouth shut and put myself on mute while you go ahead and espouse your story and the rest of it.
Thank you for having me on your show, Andrew. Well, so I'm just a regular guy. I used to work in IT. I used to build websites, and with a friend, we built a website that was a dentist directory for the French market because I work in France. And I got sued for this website because it did not respect regulations. I got the equivalent of the Better Business Bureau on my back. So in France, it is the police. And I risked $300,000 of fine and 3 years in jail for this. At the same time, my mom passed away. And I was super depressed. So what I did not realize is that in the business world, the police, they give you the worst case scenario fine, so it's for dangerous criminals. I just made a website, but this was the first time I was facing the police, so I did not know any of this, even if I had a lawyer and everything. That's still very scary. And I reached a point where, so this was in 2019, I reached a point where I did not want to wake up anymore. I was like every night, I was like hoping not to wake up the next day. This is where I was for months and months and months, because the justice system is very slow, and you go into a loop in your mind. It's very depressing, because you don't know what's going on. You don't know what's happening between the police and the judicial system and everything. It takes forever. And my guitar teacher saw me in that state, and he said, Patrice, you should start meditation. That could help you. And this is what I did. I started meditation. And I'm going to, long story short, after a few months of practicing, during the meditation, I entered into the light for 20 seconds, which is actually a long time to be into the light. It's basically what people in NDEs, when they talk about the tunnel of light or something like this. It's equivalent. I was in the light. I was not dead, but it was very similar. And I was surrounded by love and light. And I was laughing so hard. And my wife came and she said, oh my God, you're laughing. What happened to you? Did you take some weed or something? And I said, well, no, we don't have this kind of stuff in France. It's not legal. So, and I said I entered into the light, and that was absolutely incredible. I was so happy for these 20 seconds. That was unbelievable. So my lawsuit was still going on, and I said to my wife, I cannot stay here in France because I was like a lion in a cage. I was like turning in circle, and I had monkey mind, and it was horrible. So let's go to Portugal. And we went to Portugal because I needed a change of scenario to see something different, to refresh my mind. And I said, okay, I'm 50 years old, and I'm going to take care of myself for the first time in my life. And I went to get a massage next to the place where we were staying in Portugal. I did not know that the lady in the massage place trained in Nepal with monks. Actually, she's a very advanced person. She's a daughter of an Amazonian shaman, but she trained with monks in Nepal. She can see energies. I did not know anything about energy work. I did not even know the word Reiki by then. And so every week I would go for a massage. And one day I saw something and I was like, oh my God, what is this? And I knew it was something very different. It was like a dream, but it was not a dream because it was full HD, 360 degrees with emotions. And I realized it was a past life. And I started remembering my past lives. And I was like, oh my God, this is absolutely incredible. So this was it. And then she continued the massage, and I went over weeks. And I started to see emojis on people when they were touching me. I was like, oh my God, what is this? So a guy already would give me a hug, and I would see a little heart on them, or a little mask if they were liar. And I'm like, what is this? And I was like, I knew it was something I remembered, but I was like, oh my God, I can see their emotion or their true selves. That was amazing. So this was it. This was the beginning of my abilities, I would say. Then we went back to France, and my wife was sick for many, many years. Nobody could figure out what she had. And I said, let's do like the lady in Portugal, let's do a ritual. And we just goofed around with energy work, honestly, but the intention was so pure that it actually worked. I did pranayama breathing, I did breath of fire on her belly, and I got the first flash, a picture, crystal clear picture. I was like, oh my God, what is this? I was not sure if I was crazy or not. And then bam, another picture, a second one. And immediately went on the computer. I said, I have to go on Google. I typed something in Google, I don't exactly remember what. And the first picture that came on Google Image was a parasite. The name was ankylostoma. And I told my wife, this is what you have. You have an ankylostoma parasite. It's actually eating your lungs because it's a parasite that eats you from the inside. It eats your flesh and stuff. And she had difficulties breathing. The parasite started eating her lungs. And we got very lucky because this was during a lockdown episode. And we got a medical appointment online with a doctor, and they did not ask for any lab test. They actually believed us. They had never heard of this parasite before, so they had to look it up in their library. And they said, this is the medicine. It costs only $3. So we just bought it. And she healed from that. It was the first time I saw actually a person's disease inside their body, full HD picture. I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. So the lockdown continued, and we said, oh, let's do a Reiki thing. So we do a Reiki course online just to occupy ourselves instead of playing video games. And that was actually really fun. We thought it was fake, but that was actually real. And I started to remember more past lives. And I started barfing energy also, like, blah, blah, like in the movie The Green Mile, so without the flies, of course. And I was like, oh my God, this is incredible, because I remember traumatic things from the past, but not this life, but from past lives. I was not really a true believer in past lives, even if this was my choice of to go to religion, I would say, if I had to choose. And then that was it. And then some friend came over after when the lockdown was finished, and we said, oh, what's Reiki? Can we try? So we did 3 sessions for them. I did a 3 session, and the guy was limping. Actually, he was limping for a long time. And I do a session on him, and I do Reiki on his leg, and I see his past life. He's kicking a guy in the head with his leg, and actually our friend is like on the massage table, and he's screaming, and he's like, "Whoa, whoa, what's happening? What's happening?" He said, "I have the taste of blood in my mouth." I said, "Oh yeah, I'm seeing a video because I see a video. You're kicking somebody in the head." So this is it. He has tears and stuff. He said, "I don't understand. I cry, but I'm not sad." He did not believe in energy work at all. And he gets off the massage table. The guy does not limp anymore. It was like healed from his limping. I don't know what happened, but just happened. When you clear the past life, the trauma from the past life, it's cleared. So this was it. And then I really investigated that stuff because I was fascinated. I was not afraid. It was like I remembered I could do this. I don't know how. I was not afraid. I was like, oh my God, this is fascinating. And I tried to find people all over the world who would like to try remotely. And I found some people in the US via a forum. I found 10 people. And I said, do not tell me your name. I just use the forum nickname. Do not tell me what you have. I want to try to guess what you have. And this was very difficult. I would enter in a meditative state. I was trying to get something and I got nothing. But after a few days of practicing, I would get their disease in a dream. It was a full HD vision of inside their body. Honestly, better than an X-ray or MRI, full color, full HD. Like I was this little spaceship in their body, like in the old movies. And they say, this is what you have this. I would describe with my vocabulary, of course, I'm not a doctor. And they said, yes, this is exactly what I have. They would tell me the disease, the symptoms. But sometimes what would happen is that during my dream, I would see energies working on the organ of the person, or the lungs or the liver or something. And a few days later, the people would heal miraculously. So I know it's not me, I'm in my bed in France and the people are in the US. This was absolutely incredible. So this was fascinating. And then I started doing this locally with people. And sometimes I would just barf energy, like in the movie The Green Mile. I would do like a reading session. I don't like to say healing because we're going to get sued and censored by Google. So I just do a reading and miracles happen. Let's call it like this. And I would just barf like, "Bah!" And then I would cry. And this is when I realized that dark energies can be converted. So for me, it's like we are barfing energy. So it's just a sound. There is no matter. And people feel better immediately. So if they have chronic pain, for example, their chronic pain disappears. Usually, it's very frequent with chronic pain that it disappears. For some other diseases, it takes integration time. So I have many people with eczema, for example, because you still need the body to readjust. So you remove the energy or the block, and then the body readjusts. So for eczema, for example, people, it's like 3 months recovery time. This is very frequent. And then I started to see on demand, basically, if I just go in a meditative state with somebody who needs help, they tell me I have a problem. It's easier if they tell me they have a problem, because apparently the law of the universe applies. If you ask, you get help. So I reach this state faster. I can get to see in their body what's wrong, but I can also see the source of the problem. So if they tell me I have a lung problem, for example, they might show me the source might be something in the house, like mold, for example. It's not always pure energetic work. Sometimes they show me the source. You have a mold problem, for example, in your bathroom. Please remedy this mold problem, and your lung problem will go away. Sometimes there's nothing that can be done with energy. So I get instructions, like for a lady with diabetes, I got an instruction says, "Are there horses next to your house?" This is how I received the message. And she said yes, because I could not help her. I knew I could not help her. And she said yes. So I told her, I don't know why it came to my mind like this, like a download of information. Go see them for 30 days. They can help you. So she went. The horses were 1.5 miles away from her house, and she did it. After 30 days, her diabetes disappeared. So it's not me. I didn't do any energy work. It was just going there and coming back, did something to our body, readjusted our body. Maybe it's just walking. That was enough to heal her condition. That was absolutely amazing. And so I started to get a little bit known. I'm not famous, but I started to be a little bit known. And I was very surprised is that after a while, I got many nurses and doctors contacting me, actually, because they have cases they cannot solve, so either for themselves or for patients, and we absolutely know that this is real. And everything that they cannot solve by science, so it's kind of like a secret society in a way. They send them to people like us because they know we can help the people they cannot help. So I don't know if they know, because they don't really talk about this openly, especially in France, because they're afraid to lose their license. But I can see there is like this shift in the scientific world, like they are really bringing the holistic into the medical community. It's a slow process. I believe this is also part of the Great Awakening. It's dripping into the system slowly. I can see in Switzerland, for example, they are bringing it's people who can actually stop hemorrhage with energy. So I did not know that existed. Now I'm in this world. I'm starting to meet these people. There's also people who can stop the fire from radiotherapy. You know, when you have the ray, I forgot what it's called in English, but when you get a cancer and you get the rays, you can stop the burn from that. So it's infiltrating the medical community, and it's going to be really amazing, honestly, for the future of the patients. It's going to be incredible.
Thank you. It would be great if more people had the ability to do this. Now, with that said, do you feel that maybe it would be in your best interest to try to find ways to get people to have the same ability as you? Or is it really not something you think you can control, like you really can't interfere with the free will of people to the point where you can actually transfer your ability to somebody else? Would you say it's really the other people have to learn how to do this themselves? You can't actually interfere with them to the point where you can transfer your ability to someone else. It's really, if they can't do it themselves, then you can't do it for them. Would that seem accurate?
This is a very good question. So actually, I believe everybody can do this. We just have to remember. I believe it's a human right, and everybody can do this. We just forgot because we're too busy with fear, TV, distraction, consumerism, and we cannot listen to our own body. We have more than 5 senses, but we forgot how to use them. So everybody can listen to a body, the vibration of a body, and receive information about a disease. So you might not have a picture like me, but you might get a thought or a sound. Some people are clairaudient, they hear a voice in their ear. But you have to quiet your mind, and this is extremely difficult because we are occupied with video games, TV, and everything. This is what monks train for 50 years. So you need to meditate or have a trauma, which is usually the case with people who have NDEs. They come back with super incredible abilities, but you can reach this state. This is not a problem. And I know it can be transferred also because I've done it twice. So it is possible, but you need to put the work in. So I can transfer some, it's like an attunement, like in Reiki. Like I know I can give the signature to this, but you still need to put the work in. You need to meditate and trust the process, but you need to practice, so you need to find people to practice with. So I believe within 50 years, like many people will do this. I already know many people who can do this, so I'm not alone. I'm not like a special case. I'm just here to remind people that they can access this if they want to.
Thank you. You do on your website, nightshiftguy.com, you do have a FAQ, some frequently asked questions. You say you do remote sessions, which can be done over Zoom. You can actually do, you can actually work from photos, you said, but it's not as effective because being live seems to be more effective than doing from photos, which I guess makes more sense. You want to be in the present moment and not a still frame from something from the past. You can do it during the day. You do things during weekends. And you kind of put my question here. Can you activate my psychic abilities? I'm not going to read everything. People can go there and read it themselves. Well, what information do I need from you? Yeah, oh, yes, information that you need from someone. People can check this out themselves. I might as well ask you about this now. I got this, got a friend, Daniel Teague of the VegasStarHealings.com site. He does healings and clearings on people, but he's not a know-it-all. He has to get information from people sometimes. Like if you want to do a healing on the on your property, you got to give him the address and all that. If he wants to clear your car out, you got to give like the model of the car and all that. And if he wants to do like a memory healing, you got to give him your either age or date of birth. So you seem to have highlighted in black here. I don't need anything from you at all. If you don't want to share your information, well, don't you need something? I mean, you're not a know-it-all, are you? So you need some information for some things, I would presume.
So it depends. It's easier if people tell me something, but if they don't, that still works because I completely trust the process. I have the naivety of a kid. I'm very, very naive in the sense that not like naive, but innocent. I'm innocent like a kid, let's say it like this. And this is why it's working. My ego does not interfere in what I do. I'm just a channel for whoever energies needs to be going through me. So if I don't know if it's going to be archangels, for example, or angels or anything like this. It always depends on the person. I don't know. I seem to have a free pass that way, and I can ask very open questions, and it's working every time. And every time, I mean, most of the time, there's something happening. I cannot explain it. Honestly, I'm not going to lie. As you said, I'm not a know-it-all. I just seem to have a free pass regarding this. I'm very flexible on how I access people, and it's just how it works for me.
Thank you. And another thing, you wrote here on what information I need from you. The last thing you wrote, there seems to be part of a universal law of, quote, you don't receive help if you don't ask for it, unquote. So when it comes to asking for it, who do you suggest we ask? Some say ask your guardian angels and spirit guides, but one would argue, why wouldn't you ask Source? Because Source is connected to everything. Although the guardian angels and spirit guides, they seem to be more connected to you specifically. Everything is a part of you, but they're more closer to you on the consciousness level vibration than ultimate source creator. So when it comes to asking for help, do you have any guidelines to follow regarding who you need to ask, whether it be guardian angel, spirit guides, or source, or don't even specify, just ask, and whichever entity out there is going to hear it is going to hear it. What's your advice on that?
My advice would be like the last one you said. Just ask whoever is the best person to help you. I mean, best person or spirit, even source. But you have to trust with your heart. And this is a difficult part, is to not be in your ego. You have to be in your heart space. And this is what Joe Dispenza is talking about the heart wave. Because there's actually neurons in your heart. You have to be in your heart space when you ask this and not in your head. And this is the difficult part. It's very easy, and it's coming back to innocence again. You have to ask from your heart, from a completely innocent place with no ego. And this is very easy when you know how to do it, but this is very hard if you don't truly believe this is possible. And this is what monks have training for by meditation and stuff like that. You need to quiet your mind completely, basically.
Thank you. Very good advice there. Quiet your mind and trust your heart. One thing here on the medical question here is a medical intuitive healthcare professional, and you write the short answer is no, and you point out that a medical intuitive, the term medical intuitive is more accepted in the US than Europe. So I guess I shouldn't, if that's the case, I shouldn't blame you for not wanting to talk about certain things. If that's the way you want to go about it. Very humble thing you have to say here, down in italics, where you write, if you're looking for the best medical medium, the universe has its ways, and the one you will pick will be the best for you. Yes, it's okay if you don't pick me. Well, you don't see that written very often on a person's site who's seems like I can't help but ask, are you sure you actually want to write that? Was it better maybe if you didn't write that? I mean, if you really want to make dare I use the word profession out of this, the last thing you want to do is encourage other people that there are others out there who are better than you. I don't think you should bash anybody else by any means. I've seen a lot of people do that. If they really want people to follow their wisdom, then they will instantly want to attack a messenger and go after people who have a conflict of interest with them or in some way would divert attention from them. But you obviously don't do that. Are you sure you really want to do that?
Oh, yes.
Why do you do that?
I do this because I want it to be as authentic as possible. And okay, I tried to hard sell some session at the beginning of my journey, and the session failed actually because they did not come from a heart space. And I said, oh my God, I forced the people. I knew I could help them, but at the same time, I forced the sale on 2 people, and that did not work. And I was like, oh my God, it's my fault. It was not in a heart space. And this job only works with the law of attraction. It's like the people in your vibration find you. It doesn't matter if you go see someone else. Honestly, it really doesn't matter because this is not the point. I'm really here to help the people to the best they can be helped. And if it's not with me, it's fine. And I'm not on a consumerism point of view at this level. I really want to help people to the best of my abilities. So I need to have the people who really resonate with me.
All right, that's an interesting way of looking at it. I'm sure some law of attraction folks out there may assert that that if you're trying to downplay your ability by saying there's other people you can go to, don't think it has to be me, then that kind of sends a bad message to the universe. But you're saying no, that's not the case. If you are more humble like that and more willing to acknowledge other people's abilities, then the universe will find its way to reward you because you're coming from a heart space. So that's something to think about, something, and I'm glad you pointed that out. People are free to make of that whatever they will, but I do think that maybe you're the one who's in the right there, and the other law of attraction folks are mistaken when they say doing that would hurt you. So good point there. Looks like I've kind of exhausted everything on the FAQ thing, and you've pretty much explained it in great detail. So well, like I said, I wasn't going to make this a long interview. This whole thing will be free for everybody. I still do have a Patreon account, but this interview and the last one before, I didn't do a very long interview because there really wasn't much to talk about. It was basically just one or two subjects to discuss with each guest. So it'll be free for everybody, but I would like you to give the chance now. Get out anything you'd like to get out. Please plug your work, plug your site, your contact info, anything else, any last things you want to say regarding your abilities and how people can reach you, and all the rest of it. So you got the floor. Let's close this out here. Anything you want to get out, and plug your site and your work one more time.
Okay, so I want to say to people, first of all, be kind to yourself. This is key to access these abilities. Be kind to yourself. This is extremely difficult to do, but this will change the world. We have to be kind to ourselves. I insist. Get rid of your TV if you can, because TV is a poison. Stop, or be very careful. Filter what you watch. Watch only the nice stuff, the things that does not stress you. So if people want to find me, they can find me on my website, nightshiftguy.com. It's easy. That's all.
All right. Thank you very much, Patrice Krysztofiak. Awesome interview. Wasn't a long interview, but it was very interesting to say the least. And again, it's a rare gem when people reach out to me to ask, may I please be a guest on your show? With all the shadow banning I've gone through, it's great that you were able to find me and willing to do that. And I will try. I actually still have to upload the interview that I did a couple days ago before I upload this one, but hopefully before the weekend. I will, before the end of the weekend, I should say, I'll have this interview up on the internet and I'll send it to you. So you're more than welcome to promote it if you choose to do so. So thank you, Patrice.
Thank you so much.
Take care and best of luck to you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Goodbye.